Route with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. Partly to mostly sunny today, pleasant day. Temperatures for your Columbus Day 73 to 79. And it'll be partly to mostly clear tonight, about 55 to 60. Light southeast winds today and tonight. A 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms Tuesday and Tuesday night. Partly to mostly cloudy. Tuesday's temperatures mid-70s, upper 40s and low 50s Tuesday night. Your life, your music, we're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Syrian government troops have started arriving in northern border areas to help Kurdish forces against Turkey's offensive. 9 Catalan separatist leaders have been sentenced to between 9 and 13 years in prison for sedition. The UK government says it's optimistic a Brexit deal can be agreed by the end of the month. And voters in the Hungarian capital Budapest have delivered a major blow to Prime Minister Viktor Orban and his ruling Fidesz party in a municipal poll.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you. I hope everyone is having a great start to your day. You're tuned in on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Kabila Jones, and my special guest today is Sergeant First Class Antonio Howard. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm great, and he is here with the United States Army. So thank you so much for joining us today on your day off. All right, so we're just going to jump right into our conversation. I want you to please give us an introduction of yourself and tell us how long you've been with the Army.
My name is Sergeant First Class Antonio Howard. I've been in the Army for 21 years, both active and reserves. I started off 3 years active duty, got out to pretty much pursue my college career, ended up coming back into reserves, and then actually going back in active duty.
All right, and so when you say active duty, for those that may not know, can you explain the difference between active duty and reserves?
The active duty is a 365. It's a full-time career. Reserves is it's like I say, the best of both worlds. It's part-time. It's part-time Army, full-time schooling. So we pretty much pay for your schooling with the Army Reserves.
That's absolutely amazing. So what degree field did you choose?
I actually I bounced around. I went from education to criminal justice to HR. So
what you
finishing up in HR.
HR, okay. And after your career with the military, which I don't know, can you say that your career will ever be over? Even if you retire, will your career ever just really be over?
In my opinion, it will never be over because I'm going to always be part of the military, and the military is always going to be a part of me. So it will never be over for me.
Okay. Well, once you retire, I guess, will you then transition to working in HR, doing something related with your degree?
Correct. That's what I was going to look at trying to do, and some into HR.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so let's get into, you talked about how long you've been in the service. Let's back up and talk about your why and, how you got involved. Everyone has different stories of what led them to join the military, any branch. So what led you, and then tell us how it all happened.
Well, what pretty much led me into the military, my 2 older brothers, they actually joined the military. One went to the Marine Corps, one went to the Navy. So I actually went through there. My mom's a single parent, 5 kids, so we didn't have the means. She didn't have the means to actually go through there and pay for all of us to go to college. So we pretty much looked into it. I didn't want to be a burden on her, so I actually chose the military. So I tell everybody, as I recruited, as my brother told me, go through there and look at every branch and see which branch actually fits you better. Don't let you fit the branch, let the branch fit you.
Oh, okay, so did you entertain any other branches before you settled on the Army?
Correct. I went through there. I talked to all of them, as like I said, both my brothers told me to do, and the Army was actually better. It was my fit for me.
All right. So can you give us a rundown of what those,
Of course, you got the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard.
Coast Guard, okay. All right, so Army was a fit for you. You decided to take that plunge. And so, going into boot camp, give us a rundown. Like, some people, TV has a way of distorting reality. And I know it's hard, but give us a rundown of, your expectations versus reality.
Correct. Boot camp, let's go through there. It was 20 plus years ago when I went to boot camp. But let's go through there and let you guys know what it went for me. It wasn't difficult. It was more of a mental. Just go through there. It's on a day-to-day. Everything's planned out. You're going to do this day, at this certain time. So everything is planned out. They do a lot of yelling, but the yelling isn't for you to go through there and to scare you or to whatever. It's just pretty much, one, it's a large crowd. So they go through there so everybody can hear. And then they go through there and, like I said, just break everything down that way. So they go through there and teach you, mold you, mentor you into being a great soldier.
Okay, I know, again, you said it's been 20 plus years, but from your recollection, have there been people that you started with and they just decided, I can't do it, this is not for me?
Correct. Like I said, I got a guy, me and him, we're still friends to this day. We actually went through basic training, boot camp. We did everything together. He did his 3 years and he decided that, hey, the military wasn't for him. But it actually, I can tell everybody, the military isn't for everybody, but it actually works out better for him. He actually got his degree in biochemical engineering. So he's doing great by himself. But like I said, he went through there, he took that step, being a soldier, then he realized, hey, that the civilian side would better fit him, and he's actually succeeding.
Now, even though he only did 3 years, was he still able to gain any benefits that the military has to offer? Some of those, I won't call them incentives.
Correct, because like I said, once you do your 3 years, your initial tour, you still get your Montgomery GI Bill. At that time, the Montgomery GI Bill was only like $54,000. Okay. So that actually, like I said, 20 some years ago, that actually was enough for him to actually go on to school and pay for it. But it's up to $64,000 now, and decided while you're in the military, we're going to go through there and pay for you to go to school for free, tuition assistance, so you don't have to use that $64,000. So if you decide, okay, you don't have to use it, you can pass it on to any of your dependents, your spouse, or any of your kids. And let's say if they go through there, by the time that you get out, then they're of that age. It's a scholarship for them, pretty much.
That's really amazing. So there are some great benefits of being part of the military, and
correct,
being a child or spouse of someone in the military.
Correct.
I mean, aside from the moving around, which we'll get into that
yes,
a little
ma'am.
bit later. All right. So once so say someone decides, I'm going to stick it out past whatever the initial signing contract, they go past the 3 years, and they decide to go ahead and get their education while they're. Now, can you get your education while you're on active duty? Can you take classes while you're active?
Correct. We go through there. Actually, we kind of push you to take classes.
Okay.
You do, like I say, you're working. It's a 9 to 5, so you can actually go through there. We have what we call an education center. Okay. Where you can actually go on in colleges wherever you're located, like you're in Texas. Texas Tech will actually come there, send a professor to our education center and go through there and teach a few classes. You can also do online courses, because some people like, hey, I want to come back to Arkansas when I retire, so ultimately I want that A-state degree. So you can always have that degree online, and we actually go through there and pay for everything for you.
That's amazing. Okay, so while you're getting your education and you graduate, can you then transition to whatever your career field if there's a position open in the military for that?
Can you explain that?
Okay, so say someone goes for, I'm just going to say psychology. They go for a degree in psychology. If there's an opening within the military for a psychologist, can you then transition to working, or do you have to fulfill other duties?
Negative. No, you can actually, we do have psychologists in the Army, so you can actually go through there and transfer your job over to there. Let's say after you go through there and do your initial tour, it's time for you to say, oh man, I love this, the Army, I love this, but I don't like the job I'm doing. I want to actually transfer my job into psychology. You can actually go through there and switch your job over. As me and you was talking earlier, I do hold 3 jobs, MOSs. I went in as infantry first. I did my initial tour, then I changed it over to transportation, driving trucks, and then actually I changed it over to HR as in recruiting.
Okay, awesome. Now, let's go through talking about the different levels. You mentioned infantry, and then you transition. So, give us, I guess, a run through, like once you leave boot camp, then what's next, and then how do you move up in ranks and or transition to different departments?
Okay. After basic training, it all depends upon what job you pick. And with the Army, we actually go through there and you pick your job, your MOS, before you actually sign any contract. Okay. So you'll know exactly what job, where you'll be going to basic training, where you'll be going to your AIT, which is your job training. So you'll know where you'll be going. And once you get to you go through basic training, then you'll go to your AIT, because we have to go through there and train you in that job that you are doing. Okay. And then once you go there, then you go through there to go to your duty stations, the California, Georgia, Hawaii, Germany, Korea. So you just actually move anywhere within 3 to 4 years. They'll just move you around.
Some people, fear. Okay, if I sign up for the military, I'm going to have to be deployed overseas, and it may be a war zone, it may be a conflict area. There's a fear, of going somewhere and not coming home. So does everyone that sign up get deployed somewhere and have to be in active combat?
Negative. Everybody who signs up don't get deployed. It depends upon what units you go to. I know a guy's been in 20 years, never been deployed. I know some guys have been in 2 years and been deployed. As far as fighting direct combat, that depends upon your job. So if you're a psychologist, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be in the back, going through there, helping people when they come back. So if you're a medic, you're not going to be on the front line, because we need you in the back actually helping people. The same as cooks. The people who actually fight are the people who actually sign up. We have people as far as the infantrymen, the tankers, the combat engineers, the combat jobs. They're the ones who actually go out and do direct combat.
So have you had to ever go overseas and be in combat, or anywhere on the field, behind the scenes, or?
Oh yeah, correct. Cause like I said, when I first I went over in 2003, 2004. At the time, I had just changed my job over from infantry to transportation, so I was a truck driver. I was deployed in Iraq in OIF 1 for 15 months.
Can you give us a little, whatever you feel like sharing? Can you tell us what that experience was like?
It was an experience. At first, it was a scary experience. I'm not even gonna lie. It was like it was the fear of the unknown. I didn't know what to expect when I got there, but I always fell back on my training. Once I go through there and boom, I got down, fell back on my training. It was like clockwork. It was just pretty much doing my job. At the time, I was transportation, so I was moving equipment from the ports to where we need to go to Baghdad to Tikrit, wherever the equipment needed to go. I just moved it there.
And when you're going to training here, again, TV sometimes distorts reality. The training that you go through during the rough terrain and on different kind of climates, do you really go through that? Putting on the camouflage and doing all this and going to the woods and like doing all of that stuff.
Correct. Yeah, we do. They do go through there, teach you all that, because once you get deployed or somewhere, like I said, 9 times out of 10, if people get scared or fear, they're gonna fall back onto the training. So we try to make all of our training as lifelike as possible. So once you do go through there, okay, just fall back on, okay, this is my training, this is what I was taught to do at this time. So it becomes second nature to you.
Okay. I want to say good morning to some people that are checking in. Ms. Bethany Hill, Brother Bernard Paz, our very own. Congratulations to you, sir, your award. Mr. Sean K. Johnson, he says, good morning. He said, I am 92G, 12N, 12B.
92 Golf is a cook.
Okay.
What was the other one?
12N.
12N, that should be engineering.
Okay, and 12B.
12B, that's a combat engineer.
Okay. And then good morning to Mrs. Emma Williams. Thank you. have any questions or comments, drop them in our live feed, and we'll be happy to ask them to Sergeant First Class Howard. All right, so signing for the military, going through all the basic training, the extended training, you get a real feel of what you may experience if you have to be deployed into combat.
Correct. And like I was saying before, everything is pretty much lifelike. They go through there, and it's like we're real world. We're not trying to train you as they did in Vietnam, because we're not fighting, or the battlefield isn't that way anymore. So everything is lifelike, real world scenarios.
Wow. And then when it comes to learning how to operate the different vehicles, do you go through some simulations before you get into the real vehicle? Like, are there simulation, rooms?
Correct. Yeah, we go through there. Like I said, same thing like our aviation. Everything goes through their simulators before you go through there. But driving trucks, it's just like driving a car. It's just they just basically, it's like a crawl, walk, run. They're not just gonna throw you on with the trailer. First you bobtail at first, and then you go through there, and eventually they put the trailer on. And I mean, great training. They go through there. Alley docking, backing. So they go through there. They teach you some great training.
That's awesome. And when you're also going through your, I keep calling it boot camp, but basic training, and you're doing the workouts and all this, have you ever encountered guys who are like super scrawny, or women that they didn't look like they were going to make it, and then as you go through training, everybody kind of got a little beefed up a little bit, got a little strength built, the strength built up.
I would say that. I can say I know people like that. Every day I looked in the mirror. I went in basic training. I was like 114 pounds. So I was that guy that everybody was like, even my family was like, yeah, you're not going to make it. Because like I said, but after you going through there, you seeing everybody else. It's a team. Cohesion atmosphere. You don't want to let your buddy down, your battle buddies down. So you go through there and you give it a little more. And after you dig down to the point where you're outdoing them. So it makes you and them feel like, okay, yeah, we helped somebody out with this one. So yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's good.
We got a shout out from Dexter Claus. It says, look at SFC Howard. Good morning to you, sir. I wish you could have been here with us. All right, so you go through all this, and so tell us, since you've been in, and now you transitioned to a recruiter, but you want to get into recruitment and, benefits, eligibility, and things of that nature. What has it been like for you? Do you still carry some of that discipline, like getting up at this time and doing certain things at a time in a structured order? Yeah.
Everybody still back home, all my family members, they go through there because I'm a systematic person. I still get up every morning, same time. I jump in the shower. I wake up at 6. Even if I don't get up, I'm going to wake up at 6. But we do PT, which is physical training.
Okay.
So we still do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So same time, come home, take a shower at the same time. I go to the same gas station to get my coffee and donuts. So everything's systematic. And then our work day generally starts at 8:30. But it all depends upon where you're at.
Okay.
Your work day could start at 8 till 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow. And so on a typical day, or if there are any typical days, what is your time frame to be in the office, or just doing recruiting?
In my recruiting, we're typically in the office with our computers up, ready to go by 8:30.
Okay. And I keep saying average, I don't probably go average day, but this on Tuesday, how many people may stroll in?
Basically, we have an office of 8 recruiters. Generally, we probably get anywhere from 20 to 30 will actually come in, and we all, like I said, because we're a group, we're a team, that we probably interact with a day.
That's awesome. And do some people sign up the first time they come in, like, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do?
We do have a lot of people, but nowadays with the internet and Google, there's pretty much nothing that we can go through there and tell these kids like, oh, now you're gonna do this, and it's like, well, no, that's not what it says right here. So we can go through there, and a lot of them, when they come in, they already done their research. They're like, I already know what job I want. Like he was saying, on 12 November, a lot of them come in there and we're thinking like, hey, who do you know in the military? Where you get it 12 November? Hey, I Googled this. I watched the videos on it. I know what I did. I did my research. As a chat room, I talk to the kids that does this job. So a lot of kids that do come in, they're coming in. We ain't like, hold on, we ain't even told you nothing about the Army yet. Can't sign up yet. Nope, we're signing up today. I'm like, yeah, so we get a lot of people like that.
So they come with their notes.
They know. They come prepared.
That's awesome. I wish everyone on every level and every field would do that. Do their research and know what they're getting into before they go and sign up. That way, you know how to ask counter questions
Exactly.
to get more information. And that's interviewing one-on-one. If you're ever going for a job interview, please let me know.
That's right.
Do some research. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. We're going to get ready to come up on a break here soon. So, but I don't want to get too deep into the other questions before we go to break. So do you want to take us into break with maybe a personal story? It could be trial or triumph.
Well, as I told you, most of my career has been in recruiting. So that's the one of the jobs, MOSs, that I hold deep and dear to me. But it's all about helping people. And I just got this one story when I was in Florida. I had this one young lady. She went through there. She didn't know this is what she wanted to do after we started talking. She was actually from Haiti with a green card. We actually went through there, put her in the reserves because she was like, she ultimately wanted to go to school. And I ended up coming back after I did a stint in California, came back to Florida. She's actually finished college with her bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Central Florida. She actually got her citizenship. I went to her ceremony when they gave her citizenship and everything. And that's the one that I just hold deep, that I really feel like anytime a day I'm going back, I think of that day right there.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Why has my marriage walk not matched my marriage talk? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Today I realized that I've been writing and speaking about how to have a great marriage, but I haven't been putting all of it into practice. Why? Well, a house flood, a new book, financial pressures, family health challenges, and busyness have all played a role in keeping me from focusing on my marriage. But there's no excuse. So, what am I doing about it? First, I'm rereading some of my own blog posts on marriage and putting them into practice. Second, I'm vowing that I will not speak harshly or critically to Susan. Third, I'm putting reminders at the top of my calendar every day of things I need to say to and do for Susan. For more on my new marriage walk, go to my blog at markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Help keep KLEK on the air. Give now through our Fall Fund Drive. We are seeking 100 donors to give at least $20 per month, but we are happy with any gift, large or small. Come by our studio at 1411 Franklin Street in Jonesboro. Call us at 870-277-1080 or visit our website, klekfm.org, or you can use Cash App, $KLEKFM, or text KLEK1. Send it to 44321.
Jesus looked at them and said, "With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. With a motto of invest in your future, not your landlord's, Sonia Sanders Realtor is there for you throughout the entire process, whether buying or selling a home. Listings and other information is available at soldinjonesboro.com, Sonia Sanders Realtor on Facebook, or 870-275-8712.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
Check out Melvin Williams of the Williams Brothers every Sunday morning from 5 to 7 a.m. here on KLEK for the Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, playing the very best in quartet and inspirational gospel music that you'll love, as well as feature interviews with all of your favorite gospel artists. It's Melvin Williams Down Home Gospel Radio Show, Sundays from 5 to 7 a.m. on KLEK 102.5 FM.
KLEK is starting a new fundraiser which will allow listeners to donate to KLEK while buying groceries. KLEK is a part of the Kroger Community Rewards fundraising program. When shoppers visit a participating Kroger and scan his or her Kroger Plus Shoppers Card, a portion of the savings goes back to KLEK to help keep it on the air. Details on how to sign up for the program are available at KrogerCommunityRewards.com and at KLEKFM.org. This is a KLEK fundraiser.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guest today is Sergeant First Class Antonio Howard of the U.S. Army. So I can't thank you enough for being here with me today. And thank you to everyone else out there that's checked in and for your comments. And please share this interview for anyone that you know may be interested in joining the military. Of course, today we're talking about the Army. So I hope that you're taking notes and making plans to contact Sergeant First Class Howard and go have a conversation with him in person. He'll tell you more, give you more details about whatever you would like to know about before you make your final decision. So let's go ahead and talk about recruitment. How do you recruit? Do you go to schools, or do you let people come to you, or how do you operate?
We actually do all of the above. Okay. We actually go to all the local high schools. We cover everything from Blytheville all the way to Walnut Ridge, and Bowdoin, so we cover a lot of area. We actually go to the colleges, and we actually people come in, walk in all day, and we do house calls. Okay. So we do call houses and go through there, and from the past grads and stuff like that, there are people who are already graduated.
And so if someone sends a message online saying, contact, there's usually this, tab, contact us for more information. And so if someone actually does that, do you call them and then set up an appointment for them either to come to you or to go to them?
Correct. We either come to both because a lot of people don't, the transportation issue, they can't come to us, so we actually go to them.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, and so at what age can someone actually sign up?
We recruit from the age of 17 to 35. 17, but it has to have a parental consent. Okay. Mom and dad has to pretty much consent. They sign us consent form, saying that they could actually join.
All right, and so let's talk about within the eligibility or requirements. At 17, there are some people that graduate from high school at that point, but then there's some that are still, like I turned 18 when I was still in high school, so do they have to have that high school diploma? Correct.
You have to have a high school diploma or a GED, but when we're recruiting in high schools, the kids can actually join, but they'd have to, it's a stipulation on theirs that they would have to go through there and have that graduate diploma before they actually ship off to basic training.
Okay. All right, and then before they, so they graduated, they met the No, let me back up right quick. Is there a GPA or other educational requirements?
No. We have what we call the ASVAB test. That pretty much determines, I tell everybody, it's like two tests. It's a qualifying test to make sure you qualify for the Army, and it's also a placement test. It actually places you in the field. So a lot of people may say, oh, I want to be a nurse in the Army, but you'd have to score a certain thing on the ASVAB test so we can put you in the medical field.
Okay, awesome. Now, going through medical training in the military, is it same or similar to going to medical school as a civilian?
Correct. All of our certifications via medical, in computers, mechanics, everything. So we get the same certifications that they do on the civilian side. So if we send you off to nursing school, let's say you come back to Arkansas, you'll be an LPN. You just have to go through there and take the state exam for that state. So if you take that same thing to Florida or to Georgia, you'd have to take the state exam so you can go there and be certified in that state.
Now, based on where someone is stationed, if that state offers what they call reciprocity, can they, if it's convenient to take the exam in that state and they can transfer their license, or can they do it that way as well?
Correct.
Okay. And I learned about that. I went to cosmetology school, and there are people who lived in Missouri. They're wondering, okay, can I do I have to take my license exam here, or where can I transfer? And you have to think long term about, where do I really want to go with this career? No matter what career field you're in that requires a license, where can I go and where do I want to settle, and what,
Correct. And that's the same thing with myself and all the recruiters that work in my office. We go through there and look for the long term. You may be saying, I want to join the Army now, but we look at what are you going to do once you get out. Because at one point you're going to get out in the Army, whether you do 3 years, 5 years, or like myself, 20 plus years. At some point you're going to get out. So we try to transition you and set you up for success for once you get out of the Army.
So the Army says, we were happy to have you, but your time
has expired. Yes.
You can come back and visit us. But okay, so once someone is, met the eligibility requirements, taking the test, they're now placed, they go to basic training. How long is basic training?
Basic training is 9 weeks and 4 days.
That's very specific.
The 4 days. The 4 days is generally for the in processing and everything like that. Get your uniforms, get your boots, and you got to go through another medical exam. They go through there and get your immunizations, everything caught up. So they give you that buffer of 4 days to get you through that portion.
Okay. And traditionally, when is graduate? Is there a graduation ceremony?
We do. Typically, every graduation is generally on a Thursday. They do a family day on a Wednesday, where the family comes in and they see their now soldiers, and you go through there and you have a whole day with them, and then the next day you go through there, which will be Thursday. They'll do a graduation, a big graduation and everything, and then you get your soldier for that day, and then they go back to AIT, flying out to AIT.
In this day and age, with mental illness on the rise, well, I'm not going to say it's on the rise, but the awareness of it and the presence of mental health issues, people are now opening up more and getting help more. Does the military, does the Army in specific, have individuals who are considering enlisting go through some type of psychological evaluation?
Correct. When you that's one of the steps. After you go through there and you take the ASVAB, we send you off to our MEPS. It's called military and processing station, where we go through there. You go through a full physical evaluation and everything. So we have to make sure everything is up and up before we send you off to basic training.
And do you do, for sure, government background check?
Correct. Yeah, we do a full background check. Actually, we do two. We do one in our office, and then once you get to MEPS, they do a second one.
Okay. Now, besides maybe some obvious, and I don't want to say it's obvious, but for those who may not know, what will definitely be a strike against someone?
A strike? We would never say strike, but
I'm sorry.
I always use speed bumps.
Okay.
I go through there. A big speed bump will be felony charges, misdemeanor, any drug charges. It will be a speed bump because we can get over and overcome a lot of them, but a lot of the speed bumps, it'll just pretty much stop you.
Okay. Yeah. So apologize to anyone, And what if someone had a felony and they gone through all the steps they needed, and now their record is basically expunged. Does that still come up?
We still see everything in our background check because we see charges, and then we'll have to go through there into the courts and find out what was the outcome and disposition of it. But even with that, I want to tell everybody that's not a speed bump that's going to stop you, because it's a waiver process. We send the waiver up, and it goes up to our higher command. It's up to them to approve it or deny it. I've seen some gotten approved, and I've seen some gotten denied.
Okay, so yeah, we move on past that. All right, so now let's talk about bonuses. You know, we hear and see, you know, even on your website, there is a section. It's kind of like a rolling, I don't know, a scrolling or rolling little, I don't want to call it advertisement, like information screen that, and it says, you know, up to $40,000. So let's talk about the sign-on bonuses. Do you feel that some people just look at that like, ooh, money, and then, but tell them how it's broken down, where it goes, and like how all that works?
Because everybody thinks, oh, it's on there, everybody gets it. Everybody doesn't get the sign-on bonus. It all depends upon your score on the ASVAB and what job you pick at that time. Certain jobs, they'll allow that $40,000, but it's mostly the jobs that it's very hard to fill. It may be a lot of people can't score high enough on the test and fulfill all the obligations. 1, a 6-year contract, and B, what we're talking about, like a psychologist or a nurse. A lot of people don't want to hold a contract that long, so we have to entice them a little more with the $40,000.
Okay, and then do they just get a check in hand?
After you complete your basic training and your AIT, and then once you get to your first duty station, they'll go through there and they'll give it to you, and they'll break it down. It's $40,000, you'll get 20. But of course, Uncle Sam still wants his half, so you'll get that portion, and then the other 20 will be broken down to your anniversary period. So you got 4 years left on it. You'll get 5 that year, 5 the next year, 5 the next year. So to go through there, help you so it won't put you in another tax bracket. And 2, you're young, you're 20 years old, and you got $40,000. I'm finna spend all that on buy me a new Camaro. So we go through there and help them out with that a little bit.
And then while you're in the military, going through basic training before you get, I guess, into a more permanent position, do you earn a salary?
Correct. You start earning a salary from day one. As soon as you get on that airplane to go to your duty, to basic training, you start getting you get paid every 1st and 15th. So the paycheck will be it's direct deposit into your account, whether you need it, because you'll be in basic training and where everything's paid for. So it'll just pretty much be accumulating until you be able to use it.
You know, we hear a lot now in today's society about financial planning, financial responsibility, you know, just being more fiscally responsible. And so have you seen maybe an increase in conversation or education for those in the military, especially those that are brand new and that are young, about how to really manage their money?
We do now. We do. When I first went in, it was none of that. But now they actually have, that's part of your basic training. They do financial classes. Once you're in, they go through there, try to go through there and put you into it's like a 401k. It's our thrift savings plan. So they go through there and you get classes upon classes upon classes. It's a quarterly thing that they got to go through there and give us classes on financial management.
That's awesome. Would you ever want anyone to come out and just be worse off or still the same level that they were when they started?
Yeah, correct. That's what we try to avoid right there.
Okay. And then as you move on up in your career, say, you know, someone in your age and your at your status, do you get continued education? Do you just personally take it upon yourself and say, okay, how can I really move my money around and make it work for me so that, you know, retirement's coming and then I'm going to be elderly at some point, you know?
Of course, both. I still do it on my own, but we do have financial managers that you can go through there. You can talk to your direct supervisor, and he can actually pull a financial manager down and talk to you. Like if you want to talk to him once a week, you can do that. We actually had one about 2 or 3 weeks ago that came around. Just maintain, hey, I'm good where I'm at, but I just want to check and see, hey, if you move this around, this would be good. And I said, I didn't even think about it that way.
Okay.
But yeah.
Have you ever encountered anyone that didn't take the benefits, and I say benefits, not necessarily financial, but the benefits of what the military has to offer seriously. And they just kind of skated, or one, is it even possible to skate your way through? But they just kind of skate and glide their way, finesse their way through.
It is possible, because like you said, everybody can skate under the radar. But at that point, like you said, the one guy that, like I said, that I can say that did do it, after a while he realized that he got on board with everybody else. But yeah, it is possible.
So at some point, either you're going to fall in line and, you know, be disciplined about this thing, because I'm sure the military, they don't play no games. Like, I don't know, but I can't imagine y'all don't play no games with certain things. And so eventually you're going to fall in line or get booted.
Or get discharged. Correct. And they hold that part real tight. If you go through there financially and your financial obligations aren't getting dealt with, they're going to have somebody to either deal with it or you're going to deal with it yourself.
Oh, God. Have you ever known anyone personally to get dishonorably discharged?
I do. It was like I said, when I first came in, there was a guy, he got repeatedly, he got DUIs. It's like, okay, the first one they'll work with you, and then after that, he got 2 more. And of course, they had to discharge him.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure it's very quick, swift, and just okay. I think it's great though. They give you some fair warning, or they try to work with you.
Correct.
Okay, so the military is not for one the weak of heart. Probably not the one of the weakened spirit. So what you say, someone has to kind of have a made up mind and a spirit, like, okay, this is long term. This is what I want to do. This is not for play.
Correct, and that's what we go through there, and during part of our interview, we let everybody know. You go through there and you go home and sleep on it, and then you come back to us, because it's not something that you're gonna sign and then no, it's a commitment.
Wow. Okay. Now, we haven't gotten into this part very much. Talking about family life. You have a family, and so I'm sure you know others that have families, and we've seen all the stories, and we love to see the stories of the soldiers coming home and their families in the airport meeting them. But at the same time, that has to be very taxing emotionally. So do you talk about that aspect when new recruits come in?
I do. I go through there and I give them my personal story about that. Like I was telling you once before, I loved it. My ex-wife, she loved to move around. But my kids, they're more introverts, and they hated it. They're like, no, it takes them 2 or 3 years to meet somebody, and now we're getting ready to move. So most of the kids hate it. As the soldier, they're like, okay, that's my job, that's what I do. But it's real hard on the families a lot of times.
So what if someone ever asked you, should I forego having a family until I've served the time that I want to serve, or my contract, my time is up? Like, what advice, like, how would you talk to someone that's...
I wouldn't say forego it, because being in the military, it helped my family out a lot.
Okay.
Like I said, my ex-wife, she loved being in there. My kids love the benefits on it, so I would never say forego having a family for the military. It's not something I would say.
All right. So, but just would you advise them to plan a little more, try to figure out, okay, this is when I'm going to be gone, this is when I'll be here, and let's try to get certain things done in certain time frames?
That's just what I do now. Like I said, at the beginning of my career, I didn't think that way.
Okay.
It was just, hey, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. But now we go through there, and all of our vacations, everything, like I said, now my kids, we already know what we're doing next year time frame. So we get everything planned out long term and everything like that there.
Okay. All right. So just for fun, when they were little, did you ever go through their room? How old are they now?
As an 19-year-old, 16, and a 13.
So when they were little, younger, I should say, did you ever go to their room like, okay, everybody up, I'm doing a bed check, I'm doing a room check, you know? Did you ever, maybe even for fun or for real, did you ever do that?
No, I never did that. I always wanted to, but no, I always wanted pretty much broke from my military lifestyle to family lifestyle. That's the only thing that keeps me happy and joking around. I just don't blend them together.
Okay. Now, we're talking about that. There are some people who have a hard time transitioning. And depending on what they experienced, whether it was combat or just being over in another country and seeing things behind the scenes on the front line, like, they have a hard time transitioning. And we see a lot of stories about military personnel dealing with PTSD and just not being able to acclimate and bounce back. So do you have to go through an exit something?
Correct. We go through there. Once you go through there and you're deployed and everything, you see a bunch of psychologists, psychiatrists. You go through there, evaluate your mental status, and they always evaluate you like on a daily, once every 6 months. Go through there, you do evaluations. But even if that time comes that you think that, hey, I need to go see somebody, everything's paid for, so you can always go through there and seek help.
All right, so everyone, I don't want to say they don't have an excuse not to get help, but they kind of don't have an excuse. All right, so if you're out there listening, you're military, you've been in the military, so does that still apply for veterans now?
Veterans now, they can always go through there and see the VA. The VA can set them up with Military One source, and they still can get help.
Okay, and even you at your level, do you try to partner or connect with a veteran that's, say, in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and not necessarily you be there, just be a buddy to them?
It's like I said, Facebook is very big now. It's like a veterans to veterans website. Okay. So I'm like constantly on there monitoring. So maybe somebody go through there and say they need help, I'm in the area, give them a call. So we still look out for each other. Awesome. And we go through there even if it's Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, we're all one team.
That's absolutely amazing. So we're going to get ready for another quick break. And we come back, we will wrap up our discussion and then go back through how people can contact you, the recruitment process, and any other fun stories, or anything else you'd like to share about your time. You're now in active or reserve?
Still active.
Still active. Okay, so maybe your time when you weren't as settled or in recruitment, what you're doing now. So, but we'll be back. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. According to recently released figures from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a middle-income family with a baby born in 2013 will spend more than $245,000 to raise that child to age 18. It's important to remember that having a baby is a financial decision, and it's critical to plan accordingly. Couples who are considering starting a family need to be serious about financial planning, beginning with a well-thought-out budget and a game plan for how they will approach spending, saving, and investing decisions as a team. That includes plans to save for college tuition before the baby arrives. This way, you're more likely to be prepared for that bundle of joy, as well as the price tag that comes with raising her. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
Anointed Prolude, 1216 East Johnson Avenue, serves the Jonesboro community inspired by Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. They offer brake service, oil changes, tire plugs, basic tune-ups, wiper blade changes, bulb changes, and coolant system flushes. Open Monday, Thursday, and Friday 8 to 5, Tuesday and Wednesday 8 to 4, and Saturday 8 to 2. For more information, 870-520-5039.
The Office of Diversity and Community Engagement at Arkansas State University, under the leadership of Dr. Maurice Gibson, is a proud supporter of KLEK and is dedicated to finding innovative ways to advance their mission of creating a diverse and inclusive environment, conducive to educating, enhancing, and enriching lives, uplifting various and diverse groups on the A-State campus, and striving to maintain Arkansas State University a place that is inclusive to all individuals, regardless of origin, color, religion, socioeconomic status, or sexual orientation. More information about the Arkansas State University Office of Diversity and Community Engagement is available at www.astate.edu/diversity and 870-972-3081.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
Experience the joy with Bishop Adrian R. Rogers, pastor of Fullness of Joy Church, 2120 Thorn Street, Jonesboro, Arkansas, 72401. Wednesday night, Word and Worship, 7 p.m. Prayer Thursday night at 7 p.m. Sunday School, 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning worship, 11 o'clock a.m. And our Sunday night live service at 7 p.m.
KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. Again, my special guest today has been Sergeant First Class Antonio Howard from the U.S. Army. I've had a really great conversation with you today. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we talked quite a bit off air as well. So we're going to get back to our conversation to make sure everyone has all the information they need. And so, if someone is interested in coming to talk to you in more detail, how can they reach out to you?
You can actually go to our office, which is located at 1923 Red Wolf Boulevard. That's in Jonesboro. Or you can actually give me a call on my cell phone at 870-665-7423. Or you can actually shoot me a text on that also. Or I have an email. It's antonio.l.howard, the number 2, .mil, spelled M-I-L,
okay,
at mail.mil.
Okay. we'll make sure to get that information posted. And so go visit First Class Antonio Howard. Go have a conversation. You never know. If you're on the fence, you never know what he can say that might, sway you. And hopefully the benefits, you will see that the benefits I can't say, so I'm not going to over talk myself, but maybe the benefits for you outweigh the other side of, what's maybe holding you back from making that final decision. So, but again, you'll never know until you actually go have a conversation with a recruiter. So we hope that people take advantage of, coming to see you, your open door policy. And hopefully when you go to schools, do you have any school appearances? I don't say appearances, but visits scheduled for the rest of this year?
Yes, actually, we have a recruiter that'll be, like I said, that's eight of us, so we'll have a recruiter in any of the schools at least once a week. I generally deal with most of the colleges, A-State, ANC, ASU, Newport, so I deal with a lot of the college, Black River, Williams Baptist, so I'm more of the college recruiter, and the other recruiters deal with most of the high schools. But you can actually still give me a call. I can go through there and get in contact with them or put you in the right direction. Even if, like I said, even if you're looking at trying to do us and swaying between the Army or the Marines, we always go through there, talk to me. I have the information to them, so we can actually go through there and set you up with an interview right after you get from us to them.
Okay. Now, one thing I didn't bring up, and I just thought about, we're talking about high school kids. Do you ever talk with them, maybe without their teacher, counselor present, just kind of have that real discussion about behavior issues and how their behavior now can affect them long term, and then maybe how the military can help them, squash all that.
Correct. We generally do, because that's generally when they're within that teacher or that adult. Because like I said, our first interview we do talk with the parent or with somebody to go through there. But after that, we go through there and talk to them one-on-one. Like, hey, we've been there. And just because we're in this uniform, hey, we have been there where you're at, and you might need to curve it at this point before it gets to.
Okay. Because I tell some of the young girls that I mentor, like this. What you see, this polished version of, I wasn't quote unquote bad or had behavior issues, but there are some behaviors that I did that I do not want them to do, and I try to give them my experience, like, well, here's the consequence of this behavior, so just because you see me well spoken and polished now, no ma'am, this wasn't always
like it.
So I hope that the kids that you encounter are really paying attention and really looking at yourself, hey, this is really possible for me. And, especially as you mentioned, your upbringing, I hope that some of them see that the military could be an option to help change their life. College is not for everybody. Now, have there been people that have gone through and not taken advantage of the education, or?
We have a lot of people that do that. They go through there and they decide, okay, yeah, this Army is all I need. I don't need college afterwards. But we also go through there, and I tell people, like I said, that college isn't for everybody. We also pay for trade schools also. Everything trade schools, anything that'll give you a certificate, degree, or diploma that's accredited, we'll pay for it. So electricians, we pay for mechanics, certifications, we pay for everything.
And in today's society, you have to have a certification to really get the job and get the salary that you desire. So I hope that more people start coming to you, and I thank you so much for giving us your time today. So at our last minute, any other story you want to share? No more story. No more military story. Or any shout outs you want to give to anybody.
Well, I just like to shout out my whole Jonesboro team, all the way down from my supervisor, Sergeant First Class Cobbs, everybody in my office, Sergeant McGaney, Sergeant Bradford, Sergeant Heyer, Sergeant Cadova, Sergeant Burr, and we got a new guy, Sergeant K. I'm shouting out everybody. So like I said, you see any of us in any of the local high schools or anywhere around town, hey, just come up and shake our hands and
All right, and let's show our military personnel some respect. Like, I couldn't do what you do, so I thank you for taking on that mantle and serving your country in whatever capacity you serve. So if you see someone, please show them respect and show them your appreciation for what they've done for us, because again, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. All right, so thank you so very much for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
I will.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in and supporting KLEK. We are your community radio station. We could not do what we do without you, so thank you for your support. Hope everyone has a great and blessed day. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow, Community Conversations, 9 a.m.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues.